Hi, I'm Chris Reese with the Haunted Bay Area, self-proclaimed solo paranormal investigator in California. I am going to film an episode of me exploring the Dublin Pioneer Cemetery in Alameda County. That video will happen in March when the weather is a little more forgiving and sun is up more during the day. But before I do that, I'm going to give you a virtual tour of the Dublin Pioneer Cemetery narrated in my AI voice for now. Avoid bad audio quality. With that being said, let us dive on to the mysteries and legends surrounding this Bay Area graveyard. Here's a solid set of key facts, stories, legends, and some notable people or families. 1. What the Dublin Pioneer Cemetery is: historic pioneer burial ground. In Dublin, Alameda County, California. Established in 1859, Dublin, California. It sits within Dublin Heritage Park and Museums, alongside other historic structures like the Old Murray Schoolhouse and Old St. Raymond's Church. It's still an active cemetery, but no new plots are available. It's now mainly a historical site and place of remembrance. Over 600 memorial sites and around 430-plus burial records exist, dating from the mid-1800s to today. A walk through the cemetery is like reading a timeline of early Dublin. Each headstone tells a piece of California gold rush era and pioneer life. 2. The founding store, how it started. The cemetery's origin is tied to Old St. Raymond's Church, built 1859 to 1860. Tom Donlan, a young pioneer who fell to his death while working on the construction of the church roof, was the Sedgerscross first recorded burial, sparking the establishment of the cemetery. Though his headstone, and maybe a few older unmarked graves, predate formal records, Donlan's grave remains iconic as the cemetery's origin point. This kind of beginning, tied to community struggle and building sacred space, gives the cemetery its emotional anchor. 3. Pioneer families and notable burials. While there aren't celebrity burials in the modern sense, the cemetery is significant for early settler families who shaped Dublin's early community, founding, and early families. These are some of the well-known names from headstones and cemetery records. Fallon family, among early Irish settlers. Murray-Farr, Ori family, major local contributors, also donated land for the church. Donlan, pioneers, including Tom Donlan. Dougherty, landowners and early Protestant settlers. Their plot has some of the more elaborate markers: Museum of the San Ramon Valley. Kolb, Muller, Glass, Dobble, Tehan, Close, Harlan, Lynch, McPherson, Norris, Olson, Rasmussen, Williams. Pioneer families whose graves are in the cemetery. Personal stories from records. Some individual stories from the burial records include Joel Harlan. Died as an infant in 1875, part of a pioneering family that crossed west with the Donner Party, but separated before the worst of that ordeal. Christopher Hartung, born in Germany, sailed around the Horn to San Francisco in 1844, the perilous sea journey that many pioneers took before transcontinental trains exist. Russell W. Anderson, a World War II Army veteran, showing how the cemetery spans generations from pioneer to modern. These kinds of individual touches, journeys from Europe, infant mortality, military service, help connect your audience emotionally. 4. Landscape and atmosphere. The cemetery is lined with oak and walnut trees, creating a tranquil, reflective settings. Many headstones have historical interpretation signs, giving context about the people buried there. The older section is protected and landscaped to show the transition from historic ground to modern active cemetery. 5. Legends and local lore. While not officially historical fact, local stories and city events point to a cultural haunting around the cemetery. The city promotes ghost tours through the cemetery and nearby historic buildings, part spooky storytelling, part community heritage. An oft-repeated local anecdote is of a ghostly hound seen or felt roaming near the cemetery, said to be the spirit of a pioneer. These legends can provide atmosphere in your narration. Voices of the past, some say, still linger without undermining the cemetery's dignity. 6. Broader context, Dublin's pioneer era. To frame your documentary, it helps to place the cemetery within Dublin's early historical arc. Dublin was founded over 160 years ago by immigrants after the gold rush, including Irish, Danish, German, and other European families. The Heritage Park, and with multiple historical buildings, preserves this pioneer narrative.